Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. All right, my friends who have ordered my t-shirt and coffee cup. Someone said, a friend of mine who sends me messages said, I look at my coffee cup and I remind myself, what am I manifesting? Well, today we're going to talk about, I lost my train of thought. We're going to talk about how you can turn any situation around. And I'm going to demonstrate something to you that's going to make this very clear. It's still going to challenge you because it's not easy to turn a negative situation around, because sometimes we're just having a tough time seeing the world differently than it appears to be at the moment. Appears to be, not is, okay? So here's what I'm going to do with you. I'm going to give you just one thing to think about. You know how I love to give you simple steps. So we're going to take a negative situation where you feel like, get me off the planet. Dear Lord, could it get any worse? Why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. You know, a lot of you are just amazing people, giving, loving, sweet people. And you're like, why am I the one that's struggling or whatever? You're not. You're not the one struggling, everybody is, but you're seeing it differently, and you absolutely have something going on that's creating the situations, all right? And you're accepting it. So I did a video just before this called Asking It Is Given, which I use the term give, and that's what you're receiving. I always like to give first. I don't want to ask. I'm going to ask, I want something, and you're supposed to give it to me. There's no giving in that. So when you're giving, that's a more putting there, more expansive, more joyful. I'm abundant. I don't lack anything. And then I receive that. I receive what I give. So when you are in a negative situation, all right, so you know how you feel. It's very hopeless. I've been there before. It's like, how do I get out of this? It just seems like a huge thing to tackle. It's like if you don't have a job, or you're struggling paying your bills, or a relationship breakup, and you're just really in the depths of the darkness, right? We've all been there, dark night of the soul. And some people, you know, it's possible to go into that even if you have everything. Some people feel like, oh my God, I have everything, and I'm feeling just so lost, and I have no purpose. And as we know, we've seen some very famous, have everything going for them, people kill themselves, right? Actors and some other amazing people. And they exited. They just couldn't take it anymore. So my question to you is, you know, if you're in that situation, or you're in a situation where you just feel very lost, that's a big word for a lot of people, just feeling lost. What is it I'm supposed to be doing? I just don't feel purpose or whatever. I want you to remember, how do you feel when you are on top of the world, when you get that big check, or you got the job, or you got the relationship, and something amazing comes to you? How do you feel? How do you see the world? I'm pretty sure that the majority of people will tell me that they don't have any problems, that all of a sudden the person that bothered you, it's no big deal. Or something happens and you find it funny instead of, you know, getting ticked off. Or just the things that, you know, might bother you if you're not doing well. It's not a big deal. And all of a sudden the world is right, and everything's wonderful, and you feel great, and oh, they're funny, and oh, my boss, he's annoying, but oh well, you know, right? Don't we do this? We are projecting on the world what we're feeling in here. You can do that constantly, but where people go off path is when we expect the outside world to do that for us. So we're waiting for the job, the relationship, the money to get us to that place where everybody's wonderful and they don't bother us. And then as soon as we lose that, we go into, oh, that boss is a jerk, and I want to get the situation, and, you know, I'm not worthy, and, oh, I can't stand that person. You get very jealous, right? Because like somebody has something, and they're greedy, and they're blah, blah, blah. They're putting their wealth in front of my face, and like, and you know, if you had the wealth, you'd be going, hey bro, hey sister. Yeah, And so that, what is that? That's all ego driven. Then you know that the outside world is controlling everything for you. Yeah, that's not, you don't want to be there, because you will go on a roller coaster ride. When you control that and you find that internal peace, no matter what's going on out there, you can be the happy person, even if you, I'm not saying you have to be jumping up and down like excited about, struggling in any situation. You can still experience that, but it doesn't dictate your happiness. So you turn around and say, you know what? I'm going to go into a space where if I had all these things and they were wonderful, how would I feel? And not because that solves my problems or that makes me happy. And this is why, I have nothing against anybody winning the lottery. It's when you think the lottery is going to solve your problems. And that's not just the lottery, it's anything. If you think the relationship's going to solve your problems, if you think the job's going to solve your problems, then that is if I get this, then everything will be okay. That's 100% ego driven, and you absolutely will battle staying happy all the time, because you're relying on all those things to happen. And you'll always get challenges, and probably more when you are ego driven, because it's trying to, your own higher power is helping you to break out of it and saying, see, you're going to lose this to realize that it doesn't make you happy. And when you come to that realization, you're going to go bing, and that's where awakening comes in. It's like, I can't get any lower than this. It's like, phew, let it all go, and you realize, oh, none of this matters. None of it. None of it's going to make me happy. I'm done. I'm tired of struggling and suffering, right? So then you go into this awakened state and you realize, none of this controlled my happiness. I can go to that state and that peace in a moment. Now here's your challenge. When you are in a situation, you're asking yourself, why am I feeling badly right now? Because I'm not getting what I want on the outside world. That's easy. That's a no-brainer, right? But that is the ego that is in control. Now, again, I'm not saying you won't experience, negative feelings or sadness or whatever. But when you react against it or struggle against it, that's when you go into a negative space and you fuel and give it power. My exercise today is not to fuel and give it power. So I'm not telling you you're going to go, hopping around, skipping around town, all happy at this moment. But when you're fueling it, saying you don't want it, then you are absolutely focused on the very thing that you don't want, which is the outside world, which is controlling you. You're not happy, and then it's this constant, I'm continually creating it. And that's why so many of you continue to struggle with finances and relationships and everything else, right? You're so focused on battling it and not wanting it. You're actually creating that. So I tell you, go into it. Go straight into it. Look at it and say, okay, I'm broke all the time. And then when I get money, I'm broke again. Why? Why is this happening? Well, something's got to change here. I cannot continue to be the same person. And I do not want to be on that roller coaster of my ego, having to have things a certain way to be happy. I must change this. So which means I've got some spiritual, searching to do, some work, some meditation, asking for the answers, going into that space where I know that this is not my happiness. And I must let that go and let it flow by like a cloud and experience those feelings without battling them and saying, I'm not going to battle them. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change this. This is not what makes me happy. And I can turn anything around. I'm done. I'm done saying it shouldn't be this way. It should be this way. Why? I created it for a reason. What am I supposed to learn from this? Because I am not acting like the person who's abundant. I am not thinking that way. I'm not doing the things that an abundant person would do. I'm not changing my patterns. And until I do that, this will continue to come around to me. So this is purposeful, and it's good because it gives me the opportunity to change this situation. And all of a sudden, the world can look good for me. I don't have to be angry at anybody else for doing anything because I'm feeling bad about myself. I'm not going to project that out there because you receive what you give, right? You receive what you give. So if you're projecting that out, the anger and they have money and that, you're saying people shouldn't flourish. I shouldn't flourish. It's bad to have money. It's bad for me to have money. Because you're one of them. Whatever you're looking at, that's you. Oh, that person. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that person. So I'm going to ask you right now, can you change this? Yes, you can turn all of this around, all of it. Right now, you can turn around and say, okay, here's the situation. I'm struggling with it. I don't want it. I'm going to go into it and I'm going to say, the world can be right. And it's not going to be wrong because I'm not getting what I want. That's ego-based. I am going to get happy right now because I can change anything. And I imagine myself as that abundant, happy person. Not because I got the stuff, but because that feeling that I get when I have the stuff can exist in any situation. It really can. I know it's tough. You're telling me I could feel like that when I broke? Well, you try and pay your bill. Hey, I'm struggling. I remember I used to eat macaroni and cheese every day. I sprung for the 25 cents box, not the 10-cent box. Kraft macaroni and cheese. My mom cried when she found out I was living off of macaroni and cheese. So we've all had our challenges. It wasn't so bad. How many times do you look back fondly on and go, I remember when we used to put our money together to go get French fries. Or I had 58 cents that I put in my gas tank to get home from school, from college. Oh. Yeah, you look back, like, right, ladies have a baby. You're not thinking, oh my God, I'll never do that again. You might think that at the time. But these are the lessons, and this is the journey that makes us who we are, and it's what you do with it on that journey that's going to determine everything from this moment forward. You're creating right now. So if you're in a negative situation, ask yourself, how am I going to turn this around? I must take action to be a different person. I must think like the person who has everything, because if I do that, that's exactly what I'm going to create. And you got to stay on it. It's going to be the toughest thing you have ever done, because this outside world appears so real. We're so not this. We're so not any of this, and it's tough because we feel and experience this material world. Very challenging, very challenging. So that's okay. You're still in control. You get to do it all. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.